Is it just you and your family in Jamaica?
No, my mom have 16 of us, 8 boy, 8 girl.
16.
Mm-hmm.
That's a large family.
Oh yes, it is.
And where do you come within that family?
Oh, I'm the what, twins. I'm the only fifth.
Fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth of 16.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like growing up in such a large
very
family?
nice.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
We all live, we all live very close to one another. Disagreement, no. We just live. Because my mom was really nice.
Yeah.
My dad, worse. They spoil us. Because my mom used to have a maid. When we were going to school, we don't, the maid look after our breakfast in the morning. They were clothes put out. And we couldn't go to school without, we don't have shoes, hat, everything on. And when we came home from school for dinner time, we have the dinner ready, the breakfast ready, and then we leave from back to school. Then when we came home, we don't have anything to do more than to church. And we used to be practice in church and so forth. So we used to have really, and we used to be very, very close. And my sisters, brothers, we are all close. And even now we're still close. We're still close.
So which district in Jamaica?
I'm from St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. Whereabouts
Seaford.
on the island? Is that?
Seaford.
Seaford. Is that close to Montego Bay or Kingston?
No, close to, you go into Portland.
So you grew up in,
in Seaford.
In Seaford with 15 other brothers.
Oh yes.
Right. Which school did you go to?
Well, I went to the school in Kingston. We school there, and leave from there. Well, we go to this Calabar head college in Kingston. We went to that school and that college. And I leave from there and I came over here 64.
So would you say that your family, were they poor, middle class, rich?
Well, average. Not poor, not very, very rich, but just can manage, because we never need enough anything. Because my parents used to, well, look after everything.
What work did they do? What work did they do?
Well, they cultivate. My parents, my father was a butcher. And my mom do selling, she do oil, sugar, food, everything. So she do everything. So we never poor. And we never need of anything. We always have and we always give. Because we have more people that little poorer than us. We always help them out very much. I think that's why sometimes our side of family, get by so much because we always help people who have nothing. And when I came into this country, and I see what's going on, sometimes it grieves me. Sometimes I sit down and cry. I know that all my mother and father raised us. And when we come over here, the treatment, because when we come to this country, the people, they act like we are aliens or we are, I don't know. But I used to get on with some. Some of them I get on with, but some. They act so bad. I can remember one time I was working in the hospital, Dudley Road Hospital in Birmingham. And after I came from work, I want some bread. And I went to this shop to get some. And they never have no slice when they have those cob. And an English woman was before me, and the man sell him the bread, sell him some cover, and I went up to the counter to get mine, and the man said, "Oh, you're going to feed your friend at the zoo?" Now was really out of order, and I threw the bread in his face.
How did he react?
Eh? I don't know, you wanted money, and I just throw it in his face and walk out. No, it was really, really out of order. Because he never said that to his people, but he said to me. That means he disrespect me. Because I have to look after a lot of them, and he disrespect me. Because, you know, we're raised into an environment that nobody, we never short of respect and anything. And even now, I respect my parents them very much, because what they done for me, it's a pause, because I love them very much. And even my mother, when she died, my mother died now, I went down on 98 and buried her.
Yeah.
And you know, it was really, I can't think, because sometimes when I remember my mom died, I love her so much, and I went down and see her lie there, and the treatment, it was really.
So she was the one who taught you how to have respect for the people.
Oh yes.
Both your parents.
She always teach us to respect our elder, and we mustn't talk back to people. She always show we respect.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I never sit down and hear my mother speak a word that it's out of order. She never swear to us, and it was really, really, you know, when we came over here, I hear people telling you this and telling you that. I never hear my mother swear nor my father swear. If they have any argument, they never let us know. Because if we come in and there was just friendly, and you know, I'm married, and sometimes me and my husband used to quarrel. But anytime my children they come around, I always quiet down, same as how my mother used to do, because my mother used to, if they have the argument, they don't make we know. But we know that they have it. And I do the same with my children, because they respect me very much, because I never tell them a bad word or anything, because I like them to grow up as how I grow up. And respect people. And if you walk on this street here, everyone can tell you about my children. They said, oh, respect the hawks and everything, because I grow them in a way that they must have manners to people, elderly people, not care who you are. They must respect them, because that's how I grow.
Do you think that's based on how the character of your parents, or was it more to do with their religion?
It's a house from the religion side, and from how they grow you. When they show you respect, they show you a lot of respect, and you respect them very much. Because if they was treating you any way that is bad, they wouldn't show you any respect. They would say, well, oh, she don't this or she don't that. But they show you a lot of respect, and that you must respect them back, because they never put themselves out of the way that you don't have no respect for them. That's why you know, how we grow up, that's why I grow my children them like that. I never flag them. I only want to look on them.
Is that the same for you when you were a child?
Yes, so my mother she never beat us. She look on us, or she might pinch us. Anytime you see she call you and she put her finger down and she pinch it, burn. And then you know that there's something wrong.
Right.
But otherwise, that's how we grow. And my children, them, I do the same.
Yeah. So you always had a religious background. You grew up in the church?
Yes, we grew up in Baptist, Mount Zion Baptist Church in Jamaica.
Tell me about what it was like growing up in the church.
Oh, it was smashing. Going to church every Sunday morning. I was looking forward every Sunday morning and every, like, we go to church in the morning, come home, have a break with dinner, not breakfast because we have a breakfast before. We have a dinner, then we went back to Sunday school because they used to have it 3 session. Morning service, come home, back to Sunday school, then we stop off in Sunday school, then we have the evening service. Our parents come that time, and then we do practice, choir and all those things. And that's our background because we grow up in the church. And I don't mind them in the church. They leave church anyhow and they're over here, but I grow them in the church. I like them to be active in it and do what they want to do. I don't force them to do anything because my parents never force us. Whatsoever you want for yourself, they let you tell them what you want. They never say, well, you have to take this or you have to do this or you have to do that. They ask you what education or what this you want and they tell you. You see, so.
Alright. So what were your school days like? What was your education like?
My education was quite alright. I was really average in my education.
Did you enjoy school?
Oh yes, I do.
Lots of friends?
Oh yes, a lot.
What kind of leisure activities did you do in school then?
Well, we never have more, a lot like now, these days, they have a lot of education because we used to do like baseball, cricket. We used to play cricket a lot. Over there we used to play like Overhampton, play Bilston or Bilston play somewhere else. That's all we used to be. Do.
Was that the men and the
women as well? We used to have the women team and play with the men. Sometimes we play with the men, and sometimes we have a certain amount of women team from different background come, and we do that. But otherwise, that's all because we never have so many activity like now. Now you have a lot of activity in Jamaica.
So the women played with the men. Was that unusual or was that just normal?
That's normal. We always have the cricket, and then women play cricket with men, and then men play cricket with men as well, and women play cricket with women over there. You see, we have a certain rule that we always mix anyhow. We never, like over here, they never want men and women mixed together. They was so, I don't know, over here they were so like, don't mix with the men or women. Oh, they're just, women are just men. But over there they used to mix. We used to mix a lot.
What year was this then?
That was before 63, 60 and all them time. We used to go out. So the men they always play, little young teen, they will go out and play like my grandchildren them now. We play with cricket. When we at school we play with cricket. And then we go out and the big men them play with the big people and also. But we used to have jolly time and they used to, well, the most thing I used to see they have domino tournament. They used to have that plenty out there. But true, we that young we couldn't go with those, but we used to in school, baseball, cricket. Those is our, I used to good at it as well. I used to get good at it.
Good. So when you were a child then, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I have so many things I did want us to be. I wanted us to be a lawyer, and I was going. I want to be a teacher, but my real aim was nursing. And that was it.
Yeah. So why did you pick those particular ones?
Because the reason why I picked it, when I was growing up, I see a lot of people from the poor side have nothing. And sometimes when you look on them, it grieved me when I was a child to see they have some of the parents sick, and and I say, well, I would like to be a nurse or that I can help my parents. Like my granddaughter is here now, and she said from she can write, she said I want to be a doctor, and she growing up and is the same thing she says she want to be. I don't stop her. I leave her to her mind. I don't say, well, you can't get doctor, you can't do this. I love if she would really carry on her school, get through with her school and turn what she want. Because what I did want nurse or barrister. Well, I never go to the barrister, but I go to the nursing. And I end up doing my nursing and do it over here as well.
All right. So you came to England in what, 1964? Was it? Okay. What were the reasons?
Well, I don't know, but sometimes you need to travel. And my first husband was in the army over here. I was married when I was around 16. And my husband was in the army. He's from Jamaica. And he came up, he was in the army here. And after I leave Jamaica, I decided, say, well, he said that I wouldn't come up, but he said I must come up. So I came up 64. And I met my children, and he died over here. So, and I remarried again, and it's work out. It's never work out.
So you married quite young the first time.
And this time it never worked out with
second husband.
With my second husband. So
that. Do you remember the journey over here and where you landed?
I landed at Heathrow, and
so you came by plane.
Yeah, I came by plane, and then my bigger sister was here, and she come and fetch me. And my husband, that time he was in the army, so he couldn't make it. So he sent my other sister, and she come down and came up here.
Did you have any children at that time?
Yes, I have two.
They come with you, or did you leave?
No, I leave them in Jamaica.
You're going to call for them later? Or?
Yeah. They're not in this country anyhow. They are all in Canada and America.
So how many children have you got altogether?
Six. I have 6 children. There's only 2 is here. The rest is in America and Canada.
So travel far and wide. Are you pleased about that?
Oh yes, I do, because I used to go up and visit them into America and so forth. I hope one should be coming soon. Yeah. My daughter, that's the big one.
In that picture there?
Yeah, that's my big daughter.
Daughter.
Yes, that's my eldest daughter. She will be here this month to visit me here.
Looking forward to it.
Oh yes, I do.
So when you came over to England first, where did you stay first? Did you come straight to Wolverhampton, or was it somewhere else?
No, I came to Bilston. And my husband, they have a house in Bilston, and we leave from there. And then I'd have a house the own house was in Burnham. Then after the death of my husband, have to sell that house. And I came back to Wolverhampton. I was living with my sister. Then I leave from my sister and have a house in Penn. And I was living in Penn. Then I leave from there to back to Bilston again, and from Bilston to here.
So you moved around quite a bit.
Move around.
Right. But what was your first impressions of England when you came?
When I came, I thought it would. Oh, it was most dirty and this. Oh, the first impression when I came to England, I was going up Mount Pleasant Road. I can't forget that. I never forgot this. And the bread man just bring the bread and put it on this step, the step out there.
Yeah.
And the dog just come and lift up him and peep on the bread. Have you ever asked my sister what they do with the bread that the dog peep on? They said they eat it. I said, no, oh my gosh. Because in Jamaica, not even fly can go through your case. If they see a little fly in the showcase, they dump anything that in it. Because it was that, you know, they just scheme. They can't just pick up anything and eat like how they do it over here.
Yeah.
Wrapping fish and chips in newspaper, my God, when I come over here, I thought it was, it's never good. Because after you read the paper, they call it stale paper, and it's not healthy.
Yeah.
And people, they used to wrap it in newspaper, give the people them. I can't forget about, I was working in Burnham, and it was a December month, and working in Dudley Road Hospital and leaving from there, I catch one bus to come to West Bromwich. And when we reached there, it was first time it was a 90 bus. It used to run. And when we came there, snow was on the ground and I take off the bus.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I must do, if I have to go back to Smithick or so. And I see a young lady, she was coming from the other side of town because she was working in the hospital. Her husband was living in Bilston. In not Bilston, Mount Pleasant. I was living in Bilston. And we went into this fish and chip shop and buy these fish and chips. And after I buy the fish and chips, she buys some. And when I opened that fish, my God, it was stink. We have to take it back in there. Oh, it was really bad. And the people,
You look like it only happened yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I can't forget that, you know. I never forgot it. Because I couldn't believe. And even when the time snow, and snow was on the ground and the fish was that stink. I don't know. I couldn't eat it at all. I have to just take it back in there. When I do some, break the fish. Until this blessed hour, I never eat another fish and chip. No, unless me cook my chips.
So was there a big change in diet when you came over there?
In this country?
Yeah.
They used to the fish diet, but I don't know, because their diet was different from ours, because we couldn't digest the food that when we just came here first, until we started to have our own food, because they never used to sell yam, banana, potato and for us. Until late, they started to do those things. Then we get into it. But I still could not digest the baked bean and so forth. But lately,
didn't like it.
No. After I have my rice and peas, like, and my chicken and a Sunday and so forth. Because we used to that.
Okay. Right, so you had your children over here. Were all 6 of them over here?
No, no. I have two in Jamaica, the rest here, and in Canada and America. And he's only 2 years here.
I mean, when you were in England, all your children were together.
Yeah.
What was it like as a family, bringing them up in a different country?
Oh, they was quite alright, you know. And they leave. They're big people. God, the eldest one, he's in Canada, he's in America. The second size one is in America. And the other two, they are in Canada. 1 girl, 1 boy. So we have 4 boys and 2 girls. She and this one here and the other boy. My son was here yesterday. He went back. He's living in Overhampton anyhow. But my daughter just live up the top there.
Right. Well, I'll ask you about your children later, but you, when you first came over, did you experience a lot of racism?
Oh yes, a lot. Worse when you're working, because when I came over here first, and if you suppose I see a job, and I went about the job, and they have vacancy, and the woman they just want to see that he is black. And they say, oh no vacancy. They don't even wait until you come in and out. They just shout, no vacancy. Because I never see so many color prejudice what was like here. And they still have it. Because sometimes you find the prejudice still. The experience of this country, I could write a book about it. Because the way they treat you, the way they act, they feel like you inferior. They feel like you are monkey. All these things. That's what they claims. That when you come from another one come into this country, that means you are a monkey or so forth. I have to clap one in work one day. It's true.
You hit someone? What happened?
He was working and he told me a word. He said, oh, it came to turn off the machine that I was working. And I said, you can't just turn off the machine and you never tell me that it turned off. Go back to your country, you black bastard. Yeah, that's what he said to me, and I just pick up piece of board and lick him down. It's true. Slap him.
Angry?
Oh, I was really angry because I'm not a black bastard. If I'm a black bastard, he's a white bastard. So he shouldn't tell me that word. And I just turn the machine off and go and I leave the work. And I just come out and come on my yard. The next day when we go back, the manager say, call us up and ask what's going on what's up. I said to him that he called me a black bastard. He said he never said black, he never said bastard, he only say you're black. And the manager said you shouldn't say it. You know. And that was it. Yeah, because I'm not a black bastard. I'm a human being. And if I'm working with you, you're supposed to respect my color and I respect your color. Because if you cut me, I cut them, it's the same blood you're getting out of the same hand. So I don't see the difference. And we should come together because, I don't know, too much racist. And I know you still have the racists going on. Because some is the same thing. And the way they grow up, the parents tell them about black this, black that, and they still grow up with it. I see a lot of things in this country. One at a time, I sit down in the house and I write my dad and say to my dad, say, I don't have the money to come home. And he said, if you want the money, I'll send the money home to and you come home back because I was that upset.
Yeah.
Because the way they, they treat you. And house, it was terrible. You couldn't get, the only place you could get a house from when you come in this country is from the Indian.
Yeah.
And they will rent your house. The English people, they wouldn't. Worse if you have children, they said they don't want no children. I don't know. I find it really, really annoying when my children was growing up, and before I have my own home, I feel it was so embarrassed. Because some people, they say, I don't want children in house, I don't want. It was really bad. Really, really bad.
So that's some of the emotions that you felt. Were you angry, embarrassed?
Yes, I feel angry because, and embarrassed as well, because if they came to Jamaica and they get the best privilege, because when they was in Jamaica and we see these people come out there, we always respect them. And when we come over here, we see that even their own people don't respect them. Because when I came to this country, their people don't even respect them.
Yeah.
Mother and father, because one girl used to come here and she said, oh, my mom turned me out of the house because I leave school and I'm supposed to get a job, and I get the job, and she said, I have to pay for my rent, my food, my this, my that. And in our culture, if we kids even leave school, we never let them find their own food. We always look after them until, but their people, they have to find their food, their rent money, their food money, their clothes money, what? We do every little thing in the house. But we never do that. Because the way we grow in Jamaica, we never know that we have to come over here and turn with children either out of the house or say, well, you have to find food or you have to find money to pay rent or so. Because we always get the privilege. So we never know that it would happen to us over here. So we have to do the same, because even when you're in the council house, they tell you that your kids have to pay rent, they have to do this, they have to do that. I couldn't come to that. It was embarrassing. If you know you have your own kid and have to take money off them. And when we growing, our parents never, they give us money. Because every week that my parents say, do the selling, they come when they give us a pocket money. Every one of us, they give us a pocket money. And we have to take money off our children. It was so embarrassing, really embarrassing. So I experienced a lot over this country. I was telling my kids when they grow up, I tell them, what we see, what happened into this country, when we come over here and see it was so dirty, and it's still dirty. The bus was so filthy, everything was so, and I was working on the bus, and it was much better that days, but now it's worse. If you go in the bus, the dog hear them on the seat, this on the seat, it's terrible.
Why did you stay in England?
Well, your children, the reason why I stay is through my children, I could go back to my country, and I still want to go back. But my children were much young, And I say, well, I'll leave them until they leave school. I leave school until they come and have children, and I still stay. You're lucky you don't come and see them. My granny them with me. Because my daughter may always have them today. But because I don't know if I can say this and that, but I can. I will do it. I went to the doctor in September, and they give me a flu injection because I'm diabetic, and they give me a flu injection, and it leave me with some things come out for me. So they take piece out of my leg and carry it to test it there now to find what caused the injection to work like that, because you can see them on my hand. See them there?
So it had a bad reaction?
Yeah. All over my body.
Yeah.
So they take out piece. And I went, the stitch don't come out yet, they come and still have the stitch in. Yeah. So I have to go and take it out on Thursday. So I don't know what reaction about the thing, but I know a lot of people that even died, they don't know. Some of us come over here and the things that they give us not agree with us, and they kill off a lot of us. And I don't know. But sometimes you have to live and learn. And my mother always said to me that if you want good, you know how to run. Sometimes he say you have to take the bad and judge, you know, but because sometimes you don't know which one is good from which one is bad until you go into it, then you find out what bad from what good. So, and I always hack on my mother's words because they know better, because they all ahead and they know really better.
All right, so you talked a lot about respect, how well black people had a lot of respect, or people in Jamaica had a lot of respect, but the people in England
they don't
have respect. Why do you think that was? Why do you think it's that way?
I don't know. I think it's because I think because this country wasn't a religious country. Because if there was a religious country, they would have respect. But it wasn't a religious country. And even now, it's still not a religious, because it's not everyone who would even say, well, go to church.
Yeah.
They believe that God is, no God. Why God do this, or why God make this, or why God make this happen to me. Yeah. They don't believe in God. But you see, we believe, when we were growing up and we parents them and they teach us about the Bible and we believe in God. And I come and I teach my children about the same thing that that our parents teach us. Yeah. And they believe in God and they believe there is a God. Because if it wasn't God, well, I can say if it wasn't God, I wouldn't be here. Because I went to Canada, take all my tests here, leave work, was working down Compton, nurse, and go to New Cross, pass all my tests, New Cross, no diabetic or nothing. I went to Canada, I take sick in Canada, I was in coma 15 days. They packed me in ice, they give me over died, that me dead. And they packed me in ice. So if it wasn't the grace of God, I wouldn't be here. You see, so, and if it wasn't like the strength of my parents, and even the food that you eat over here, it's not as strong as the food that you eat in your country. Yeah. Because if you notice now, it's getting worse. Up to last night, they was talking about this what them call it, they call TB in cow. We were talking about it last night.
Yeah.
About TB in cow. So look from this, not even meat, milk, all these things we soon can't have. Because nowadays you never hear so many disease, but now it's getting from bad to worse.
Be more careful.
We have to be careful what we eat, how we well, we Jamaican, I don't know if it's the young people because they hardly even want to eat Jamaican food. They like it just the junk food.
Yeah.
But we cook our food proper. It's that if there's any germs in it, it's all cooked out. But nowadays, they handle the food. That's why I hardly eat out. I prefer eat my own food because I don't know, because they don't wash their meat, they don't wash their hand. Like this, they're doing the food and they don't wash their hand. So I can't be bothered. I have to have my food and have it well done.
Are your children in church?
No, not yet. She's in church. She's a elder. Yeah, she's an elder in church.
What's her name?
Doreen. She's in Canada. She's an elder in the church.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of them, they go to church, but they're not in the church. Where my daughter used to do music.
Yeah.
She sing and do our music and so forth.
So do you think that they've accepted the same values, the religious values? As
Yes,
you
they
have?
do. They do because they respect my religion, and they respect themselves, and they know that God is good to them, and God is about. And yes, they do.
Right. Do you think there's a lot of difference between your generation and your children's generation?
Yes, there's a lot, because nowadays it's different from these days, because the way we grow and the way they grow is two different things. It is. You grow, your generation, they grow different from our generation, because our people were more stricter than not say our background people is very strict, but in this country, when the children are born in this country, they're gone out of order more than we were who born in the early days, because to how they hack, I don't know, the how they hack, even when knowledge increase every day, knowledge increase, but still because knowledge increase, your generation, I don't know how old you is, around 20 to 21. You're older than that?
Not much older than that.
All right. All right. So, well, the younger generation that's growing up today, they find that they're more, I don't know. I don't know what to say about them, but I know that they're all different from when we were growing. Because the reason why they're different, they have nothing to do. They just let go. If they have more like something to keep them occupied, I think so many crime with a young generation them wouldn't happen today. But they don't have anything. After they leave school, age just 16 or 15 or what so much, the government, and the government do a lot. The government give them house, and that make it worse. In our days, when we leave school, we have to think of what we want to do, and we have to go back to school. But these days, the kids them leave school, they don't even want to go back. And some might want and some don't. The only thing they want to do walk up and down on the street. So you find the generation them in our generation it's different from now. Their culture is two different things because they feel like, oh, they know more than you.
Yeah.
And you tell them this and they tell you this. Because every day knowledge increase and they get different teaching and different that and different that. But you see, our culture, we grow up on that one. We grow up on the culture that we get, and the teaching that we get. And we know our roots. Because we know that our roots is from Africa. And we know where we belong.
Yeah.
But now, if even the children them born over here, they say, I'm not a Jamaican, I'm not this, I'm not that. But their root is still from Africa.
So the children identify more with the British culture than the
Yeah,
culture.
some of them believe that they are more English more than African. But they're not. You see, because we are all African. We see that's where our poor parents from, Africa, and that's our background. So we're more than that, more than English. Even when we speak, and still for all, we speak more English more than them, but I feel that we can't speak English. We speak different language, and that's not true. Because if you find out in our culture, we speak more English more than more than the English people them. Even when they call them English, but we speak more English more than them.
When you think about racism in this country, do you think it's a good thing that the second generation of Jamaican children or West Indian children, they identify with British? Do you think it's a good thing that they consider themselves to be more British than Jamaican for integration?
It's not a good thing for them to say they're more British. But if they keep the race down, the race is down. If they come together, I think it would be more better than the race business, because nowadays so many race that background and all them things. So if they could live together, I think the races would break down. But God tell you in the beginning, so it will. I don't think it will break, no care who and what you are. And if you even are half caste, they still class you as a black. And I don't think that race business will die out until the whole world end, because it never going to die. No care who you are, no care what happened, it won't die.
Do you think, looking at Wolverhampton now to what it was when you first came, has it changed a lot? Has it improved a lot?
It is improved. It improves in some ways, but in some ways it's still the same. Because like how they fix it, it's improved. Some of the people them, well, the majority move out, and some came back in. So it's changed a lot, because when I came into Wolverhampton, it was that prejudice. Or everywhere you walk, the people, they were just prejudice. You couldn't, when we was working on the bus, you find people feel like, oh, so and so be the case. But it's really changed. And it's growing really, even the road, different, even the everything changed, really changed. But still, for all it changed, it won't be better about races. It's the same thing. The racism still is there.
Mm.
With the police, with people, it's still the same.
Mm. Do you think life would have been better if you'd lived in another town in England?
The same way. Every part of England. Because I thought this country is like Sodom.
Mm.
It's true, you know.
Mm.
It is Sodom. And you wouldn't find anywhere from here to London and all over the place is the same races. Everywhere you turn. And in all culture, black or white, it's the same thing happening today. Races between the white, between the black, it's the same thing. It won't change. You have changes with the country, but it's only with the country, not with the people. The countries change, but the people, they are still the same.
Do you think it needs to be the people that changes?
Yes, the
country?
people. The people, not the country, because the country don't do anybody anything, it's the people. The country is here for generation to generation. It don't do anything. But it's the people that live in it. That is we supposed to change. I put myself in it.
Yeah.
We all supposed to change. And if we change from black to white, and if we change, it would have a better environment and a better country. But if we can't change and we can't live with one another, it won't change. Because one see one too white, one see one too black. And it's there it start. And don't care what happens, it won't change.
Is that because you believe it won't change because of your religious education? You believe God said it was going to be this way? Or is this something that you just see?
God don't say it will be like this, because it's in the scripture it tell you that there will be a better day coming. And time will change, but for the better. But with the people, with black and white, I can't see in which way that the changes of the race will change. It will still there. If they even said a change, it will be still there. Someone will still have it up. Me and you might change, and change with all three of us might be different changing. But another person out there will still have it. Say, well, oh, she's black. Oh, what this? I still have it. But I don't know. Not unless the world go and come again before it change. I return back. And you turn back the clock. Then perhaps you might have it changed. But I don't think so.
Okay, before we wrap up, looking back on your life now, what would you say was one of your best memories and your best moments?
Oh, when I was a little girl, going to school and my mom around. And my mom have to do everything. My have to give me servant everything to do. That's my best days. I love that very much. Every time I say I wish I could go back to that life. Never be a big person, just go back to it and have a mother to look after me. Yeah, it's true. Because perhaps I think it would be better off that way. All your parents look after you. And, I wouldn't mind that. It's true.
It's a good memory, it's a good thought.
Oh, yes. When you have to get up in the morning, school, you go to school. If we did that, I'll tell you something. The privilege that you have in one thing with the school in this country, the privilege that you have in this country, we wouldn't have it in Jamaica. We don't have that privilege in Jamaica. Because remember, a person came over this country, and if even 20, 50, 40, you can go to school here and school. In Jamaica, they never have those things over there. So that is a change that our culture could think about of changing their own life. Because you have a lot of Jamaicans coming over this country and they can't read. And if they go back to school, they could read. They could, get a bit of education and stop the ignorance. Because we have a lot of black very ignorant. Because some of them can't even read. And they're so ignorant, lack of, knowledge. So they but otherwise, it's changed because you can get through with a little bit of education and all them things. You're hearing?
Yes.
Is it all right?
Yes.
We'll see.
Okay. So you've lived in Wolverhampton for how long?
A good while now. It's around from 1969. I think I live in over here.
It's a good 30 years. What are the best changes that you've seen in Wolverhampton? Would you say?
The best changes is how they fix it up. Yeah, because even when they narrow up the road and all them things, but the best changes is how they, fix up the Wolverhampton, make it to be, decent a bit, even when it still want to clean up more.
Yeah.
Because the road is still dirty and the thing. But it's a good change because all the roads and all these things, it's really improving.
Yeah.
But it could improve more and better and have better felicity because we don't have that. We don't have they want a lot of things to do because they want a lot of things. They want to go out and see things and come back and do it as how make Wolverhampton to be a better place.
Which things?
Like they fix it up, yes, but they narrow up the road. Going to be a lot of accident when it comes to certain time. And the improvement of the bus, not so good. And then the felicity, they don't have like a like a toilet, do it like that. One toilet facility. You might have one in so many places, but when you go in there, it's so not clean.
So they can improve.
They could improve those.
Areas.
Yes, in public area they could improve those places. That is one. Wrap it up now.
Okay, we've talked about your life history. I'm sure there's a lot more that could be said.
Yes.
So unfortunately, we're running out of time. As you sit there now and you look into the future, what would you hope for the future for yourself, for your family, for your grandchildren?
Oh, I hope that I may live. I hope to myself that I may live a bit longer and see my children and grandchildren and grow up. Pass the exam and my children them are what they need, what they want. That's all. I hope that I may live for so many more years.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much for this interview.